On a rare occasion, a brand would surprise me with one of their release, and the surprise normally comes from a brand that I did not expect at all to release something as good as they just released. And this is one of those cases. i3 Mark III by TRI. Let's jump into it. Hey friends, Timmy here. Welcome back to another video on Gears Audio. Today we have the i3 Mark III by TRI, a brand that I haven't heard from in a very long time. I reviewed the Star C way back in I think the third video of this channel, 3 years ago, and I haven't heard from them since. I know they made this one, I forgot the name of it actually, but it never took off and they kind of just disappeared. But now they're back with arguably one of the best implementation of planar in a tri-bridge setup ever. For those who don't know, this thing has one dynamic driver for the bass, a Sony BA for the mid-range, and the planar for the treble. And my god, is it a very smooth planar treble. Taking the tri-bridge configuration aside, just the fact that they're able to get planar driver to sound this smooth in the treble is already better than how most other companies do planars. And this statement of course include all these single planar IEMs out there as well. This implementation of a planar is just better, straight up. But enough about the drivers, let us start the review now, starting with the sound. Now this has a very mid-centric kind of signature. Vocals are very up and center. Bass, I would say, has more focus in the sub bass. The mid bass is very clean, and I would say that the bass is my least favorite thing about this IEM. It doesn't really, it's punchy, but it's very fast decaying. It's not decaying like a natural sounding bass at all. The bass just feels like it's just there. It doesn't have any magic, doesn't have any weight to it. It just feels like the bass is just there to represent the fact that this song indeed has bass, but it doesn't really play a role in making the song feel more alive or anything like that. And even though this is a sub-bassy focused set and you can feel the sub-bass a little bit, but it's not really all that rumbly. And again, most likely because the decay is so fast. Now all of that is to say, if you're a bass lover and bass is important to you, then you should probably demo this first before purchasing, because the bass here might not be to your liking. Now back onto the mids, and the mids, like I said again, is up and center. Vocals are very much the star of the show here. They may sound maybe a little bit too boosted to some people, not in the shouty area, it's not shouty at all, but some people might find it a little bit potentially honky if you're super sensitive to this area. But I personally don't have any problem with that. I listen to these for hours. I don't feel like the vocals is too strange or anything like that. And again, that goes for both the male and the female vocals. And what contributes to how amazing the vocals sound is the timbre. The timbre is just so good. I would say near spot on timbre, and that's just due to how good the treble is done. The treble is smooth, there's no peakiness at all, while at the same time it is quite a nuanced treble. It has quite a bit of micro nuance built in. The extension is also really good. The treble quality here just overall helps a lot of instruments and vocals that lives in the mid-range to sound very natural in their timbre. And therein lies the wow factor, if you will, of this IEM, is that it just sounds so natural and smooth on most things you throw at it. Again though, if you kind of ignore the bass a little bit, even if you don't like bass and if you're someone who likes to EQ, I would go as far to say that this is one of the best EQ template ever because of how smooth the treble is. And if you don't know, EQing treble is pretty much like a near impossible task. So if you're looking to learn how to EQ or utilize EQ, you should probably get an IEM that has good treble out of the box. And I would say that this is one of the top contender for amazing treble out of the box. Let's move on now to technical performances. Bring up my scale right here, and I would land this thing right around near Blessing 3. It is very revealing in the details without coming across too boosted, too much, too peaky or anything like that. Vocals also have very nice clarity as well, due to the fact that there's just not a lot of mid bass to veil anything at all. So you get like an extra sense of clarity, if you will, from that. The only thing I'm gonna dock points off in technicalities for this set is gonna be in the imaging. I feel like the imaging could be better, and that's maybe because the mid-range is boosted so far up that it kind of makes the imaging not as precise as it could be. Next is the comparison segment, and there's not a lot of IEMs that sounds like this. I gotta say, the tuning on this is pretty unique. The only IEM that I was able to find that sounds similar to this, and I'm using the word similar very loosely here, is the Performer 8. It has like a similar-ish bass to mid-range presentation, but there's still quite a lot of differences to pick out there. I would say in the treble area, this is smoother. It sounds more cohesive. It sounds even more normal than on the Performer 8. Bass-wise, they're both kind of on par, being both just okay-ish. The mid-range though, I do feel that the i3 Mark III is slightly bit more natural. Now, where the Performer 8 maybe gets an extra point is in the micro details. It's more transparent there. There's a little bit more of it there. But at the same time, the timbre is not as good as on the i3 Mark III. So between the two, actually, if I were to pick one, I would listen to the i3 Mark III probably 10 times out of 10. Next comparison, I guess, would be with the Performer 5 because they're around the same price. I would say Performer 5 is a more balanced sounding IEM. It is a safer purchase for sure because it works better with more genres of music, or with, you know, more music taste, if you will, because the bass on the Performer 5 is actually good. Imaging wise, I think they both have their own issues. They're not really like great imaging IEMs, if you will. Treble wise, I would say the i3 Mark III is better than the Performer 5. Now, between the two in total, I would say if you know you love mid-range and you like very natural, smooth timbre, and you don't really care too much about the bass, you'd rather have some extra clarity, then i3 Mark III is the way to go. But if you care even slightly bit about bass, you want to have that bass give life to your music, the Performer 5 would be a way safer purchase for you. All right, final verdict time for the i3 Mark III. I'm gonna give this one a halfway green thumbs up. Not a huge green thumbs up, simply because that bass, it's really not something that I would recommend a blind buy to a lot of people. If you care about bass at all, I recommend you try this out first before you buy. But if you don't care about bass and you ask me if this is a safe blind buy, if you like mid-range, I would say yeah. It's probably one of the safer ones out there. And of course, for all you EQers out there looking for a good template IEM, for the price, this is the best you're going to get. All right, that is it for this review today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've tried the i3 Mark III by TRI before, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and bye.
"一緒につ